B2B Cambodia, the portal for business use in Cambodia.
Can we talk a little bit about Vietnam itself? Because Vietnam's a brand as well for international investors, and it's seen as a massive growth story. What would you say is the success factors where Vietnam has grown so fast and so big? Because now it's a huge manufacturing hub.
Absolutely. I think the whole China plus one theme has been very good for Vietnam, and there's various reasons for that. Obviously, having a 100 million population helps. So the workforce is there, and again, I think for now, for the next 10 years or so, the demographics are actually quite good for Vietnam. That won't be the case in 2035, but right now things are actually looking quite good. You're getting a tailwind from a relatively young, rapidly aging but still young population base. I think the median age here is 35, so it's relatively young. That helps. I think having a land and relatively loose, not loose, but easy logistics and a land border with China helps a lot as well. Most of the electronics manufacturing is done in the north, and that's because it's closer to China. Vietnam has had, I think, 13 or 14 FTAs signed with various countries around the world. So it's very open for trade. And that, again, is obviously a function of the authorities and how they feel about.
They're out promoting the country.
They're promoting the country for sure, and negotiating deals that are beneficial to everybody. These are win-win deals. They're not sort of one-sided deals on anybody's part.
So in Vietnam, what are the major industry sectors that are performing well, that are really a core of the economy?
Well, I mean, we're talking about manufacturing and export manufacturing in particular, but to be honest, I think about 75% or so of manufactured exports are done by FDI companies. Foreign companies that have come here set up operations.
And these are like Samsung. Samsung is something like 50% of all the phones for Samsung are shipped from here, manufactured here, shipped to the U.S.
I'm not sure about that percentage, but I believe Samsung is by far the largest single exporter from Vietnam, and it accounts for something like 15, 16, 17% of total exports from Vietnam, just from this one company. It's largely the Galaxy phone.
How did Vietnam progress from really a lower end, let's say, manufacturing to higher end manufacturing? Because we need to make that transformation in Cambodia. It's been really a very slow process for Cambodia to go to the higher end manufacturing. What were the key factors for Vietnam to be able to do that?
It hasn't really been an endogenous effort. It's more of an exogenous effort. But the willingness of all of the players, including the government, to allow foreign companies to come in and
they did the training and upskilled.
Do all the training. So the idea, the hope is that you're going to get technology transfer through time.
But to get those foreign companies to come in, there's got to be some incentive factors.
Sure.
And what were those incentive factors? What are we missing in Cambodia?
Oh, well, I don't know what you're missing in Cambodia, but I think that there have been incentives related to taxation, related to land, or leasing or purchases. I'm not exactly sure about that stuff, but people in AmCham would be able to talk about that a lot more fluently than me. There's no doubt that has been a big factor, but there's also sort of the soft attractions of Vietnam, such as skilled workforce, education levels. Vietnam, I'm not sure if your watchers are aware of this or not, but Vietnam's PISA scores for science are the highest in Southeast Asia outside of Singapore.
The education system really helped.
I think on the primary, the education system here is very, very solid. When it gets to the university levels, then we can talk about it. But for the primary, primary education results here are very, very solid.
So looking at the crystal ball and the future, where is Vietnam headed? Where is the economy headed? Where is the country headed in terms of its role in ASEAN?
Well, right now, if we look at sort of Vietnam in terms of its industrial base, for example, Vietnam is definitely moving up the value chain. When you move up the value chain, you're leaving something behind. Lower end is the wrong word, but more labor-intensive manufacturing, I think, is going to move elsewhere. ability of Vietnam to continuously supply that labor force is starting to ebb. There aren't any kids that are graduating from high school today that want to go and work in a sweatshop and make Nike shoes. It's just not something that they want to do. And in fact, Baoyuan, which is Nike's main OEM, it used to be and may still be the largest private sector employer in Ho Chi Minh City, the whole jurisdiction of Ho Chi Minh City, and they make shoes and clothes. But I've read somewhere that the average age of their workforce is in the 40s. So you've got people that have been working there for 20 years plus, and not necessarily being replaced with
less
kids.
educated, I guess. So the newly educated are not wanting to do these types of jobs, obviously.
Correct, because now we've got an economy today which is a GDP per capita of 5,000, and 20 years ago it was less than 1,000. It was maybe 600. So things have changed, and that means that the labor force is not going to be incentivized to go and work in those factories. Of course, if you pay them enough, they'll do anything. Just like in Holyoke, Massachusetts, if you pay somebody $100 an hour, they'll go and work in a sweatshop, but it's not economic. So those types of manufacturing operations, I think, are migrating elsewhere. I think Cambodia should benefit from that as well.
This has been B2B Cambodia with our Vietnam series. I have had the pleasure of interviewing Matthew Smith of Yuanta Securities, and I want to thank you again.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.